Many electronics projects use something called a breadboard. A breadboard is a solderless device used for temporary prototyping of electronic circuits. A breadboard is used to make up temporary circuits for testing, or to try out an idea in mind. What is a breadboard, and how do you use it? This animation tutorial will give you a basic introduction to breadboards and explain how to use them in beginner electronics projects, so watch video till end. A breadboard is a rectangular plastic board with a bunch of tiny holes in it. These holes let you easily insert electronic components to prototype an electronic circuit. No soldering is required, so it is easy to change connections and replace components again and again as required. Components are not damaged and can be reused afterwards. This makes breadboards great for beginners who are new to electronics and also to expert engineers who need quick and frequent prototyping in electronics. You might be wondering what any of this has to do with bread. The term breadboard comes from the early days of electronics, when people would literally drive nails or screws into wooden boards on which they cut bread in order to connect their circuits. However, with the years of evolution comes design changes. And thanks to the invention by Ronald J. Portugal, who invented the breadboard that comes in a smaller, more portable and pluggable plastic design. Modern breadboards are made from plastic, and come in all shapes, sizes, and even different colors. While larger and smaller sizes are available, the most common sizes you will probably see are full size, half size, and mini breadboards. Most breadboards also come with tabs and notches on the sides that allow you to snap multiple boards together. However, a single half-sized breadboard is sufficient for many beginner-level projects. The breadboard is made with rows and columns of holes where a component can be inserted. These rows and columns are then made with a series of repetitive patterns as shown. The leads of a component can fit into the breadboard hole because the inside of a breadboard is made up of tiny metal clips. This is what the clips look like when they are removed from a breadboard. When you press a component's lead into a breadboard hole, one of these clips grabs onto it firmly. There may be 2 or 3 power terminals for connecting the breadboard to an external power source. These are screw types terminal where you can connect power supply lead by removing screw caps and inserting the cables into the holes. Many electronic components have long metal legs called leads. Sometimes, shorter metal legs are known as pins instead. Almost all through-hole components with leads will work with a breadboard. SMT components cannot be used with breadboard. Breadboards are designed so you can push these leads into the holes. They will be held in place snugly enough that they will not fall out, and lightly enough that you can easily pull them out to remove. You do not need any special tools to use a breadboard. However, many electronic components are very tiny, and you may find them difficult to handle. A pair of miniature needle nose pliers or tweezers may make it easier to pick up small components. First, you need to get the external power supply input to your breadboard. Ideally, the positive voltage is connected to red terminal, ground to black, and if there is any negative supply source needed, it is connected to the blue terminal connector. The breadboard is divided into rows and columns. Normally the rows are dedicated to the power connections. These lines also are called bus line or power rails. They are marked with red and blue line with plus and the minus signs, respectively, to indicate positive or ground line. The power rail carries positive, ground or negative supply for the components on the breadboard. Most breadboards have some numbers, letters, and plus and the minus signs written on them. What does all that mean? While their exact appearance might vary from breadboard to breadboard, the general purpose is always the same. These labels help you locate certain holes on the breadboard so you can follow directions when building a circuit. If you have ever used a spreadsheet program like Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets, the concept is exactly the same. Row numbers and column letters help you identify individual holes in the breadboard, just like cells in a spreadsheet. For example, all of the highlighted holes are in row C, and all the highlighted holes are in column 12. Then it indicates hole C12. C12 is the hole location where column C intersects row 12. In this way you can locate any hole position on a breadboard. To interconnect the components on the breadboard, normally, standard jumper wires are used. However, you may also use single-strain 22 AWG wire for connect components on breadboard. Colored jumper wire are very helpful for breadboard interconnection as it has an advantage to differentiate between types of connections, such as ground or power. The connections between components are made as per circuit's schematic diagram.
Thanks for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to watch more videos like this.